All right, everyone. Here we are. Truth, Beer, and Consequences After Dark.
Or bonus episode because...
Or just
you never
0.5
know.
or
You never
whatever.
know.
I mean, we're here with Jason and Nick from Higher Gravity.
Yes.
Uh-oh. Look, this is an old tweet. I just pulled up. I was going to send a tweet out. And I got, so who bought it? Monroe, hashtag Monroe from the Gnarly Gnome.
I saw that and I had no idea what it was about, so I'm like,
Well,
I tried looking up that hashtag, and there were so many completely random Monroe things that
who bought Rivertown?
Yeah. That's
Monroe,
yeah.
Ohio. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Did someone buy it?
Maybe.
He just said, so, who
like,
bought it?
Like he just said that?
That's 5 hours ago.
Well,
but,
yeah.
But yeah.
Hey,
Interesting.
Gnome, hit us up. Let us know, and we promise we won't
That
tell
is a
anyone on
large
a podcast.
Space.
It is.
I'm going to say Golden Road.
I'm going to say a go-kart warehouse.
Ooh.
Oh. There you go.
That's not even a brewery.
So okay, so
Who
so
needs
on
tanks?
that, if you had to pick a brewery, what brewery would you say bought that space?
Like just out of like
Because I was going to say
Rhinegeist feels like an
I was going to say something. I was going to say something completely ridiculous.
Yeah.
So that's why it's like
Athletic.
If we're just going to
Athletic
Oh,
brewing.
fuck Athletic Brewing.
cracking the top 30
Oh my
in
God.
Are they really?
they cracked that was announced today.
Jesus.
The
Damn.
Craft Brewers
I mean, their
Association.
stuff's really good.
No, it's not.
They
Shit.
did. Nick doesn't listen to the podcast,
No.
but they disagree. They hated it.
Really?
They tried it on air.
We
and they hated
tried. We tried.
I like all
a
their
couple-
stuff.
No.
I like it.
No.
Yeah.
Oh my
do?
God.
You like it?
Oh my God.
I mean,
I'm not
I
gonna
mean,
yell-
like for what it is, it's good.
No, it's not. Not even
No,
for
but
what.
if you have to put the qualifier for what it is, then I'm out.
But it's not, yeah. So Marco and I tried. We tried 2 of their IPAs because Kat actually put together a mixed 4-pack for me.
Shout out to Kat behind the bar tonight at Summit Park.
down at Northside. She was like, "Oh yeah, we have Athletic Brewing. I'll put together a mixed 4-pack of the beers that we have, different styles, so you guys can try them." And then because of BC's, they had a mixed 4-pack of Untitled Arts non-alcoholic beers. So we're like, sure, let's do a kind of a compare contrast. Just why not? The 2 IPA, what did we have from Athletic? There were 2 IPAs,
Run Wild
a
and-
Golden Ale,
Yeah.
and I don't remember the 4th one.
Was it their wit?
Now,
I think it
question
was
though,
the Wit.
did you check the dates on those? Because that place
No.
sucks at
Did not.
at getting their can
Why are
dates
you
correct.
guys selling out of date?
I'm just
Right?
kidding.
Can we
I'm kidding.
can we blame you for that?
No,
or-
we're pretty religious about it. I was joking.
and
No, I
that's why I
believe
was
it.
making the joke
I
about
believe
it.
it.
But no,
actually, speaking of non-alcoholics,
Yes.
you should come try tomorrow. It's in
There's a puppy in here now.
It's in my truck right now.
The
But
puppy?
It'll be. Yeah.
Thank you, Julia.
The puppy. But I have a non-alcoholic sour from Southern Grist that'll be on the shelves at
Southern
Northside
Grist
tomorrow.
is good. Okay, so my Josh and I went down to Southern Grist when we went down to Nashville for a vacation to see a concert, that kind of stuff. Amazing stuff. Didn't know that. And this was a couple years ago, so maybe they weren't even doing any non-alcoholic. But for what Marco and I tried, we tried their two of the Athletic non-alcoholic IPAs. And then I tried at home I think it was the Wit and there's something else. I don't remember
From
what it was.
Athletic?
From Athletic.
Yeah, because I know you.
There was another IPA. I think there were 3 IPAs. There was a hazy, a something, and a something. I don't. This was a while ago, and they were just off. Like
It was 5 or 6 weeks ago.
It was
It was the show that came out right before my training day here at Summit Park. And somebody brought up in training non-alcoholic beers, and I'm like, man, I tell you, those Athletics were not good. And Jason went, yeah, I know. I listen to your podcast.
The urban art or not urban
Untitled
art.
Art.
Outside of sorry, urban. My apologies to you guys. The Untitled Art sour, the non-alcoholic sour, was stupid good. It was sweet. It was fruity. I mean, it was one of those. It could have just been fruit juice.
Yeah.
But the Weizenstephaner non-alcoholic that Jason, you said, hey, you should.
Yeah, that was pretty decent.
That was good.
Yeah.
That was
That was pretty decent. Actually, the Untitled Art Hoppy Pilsner was probably my favorite non-alcoholic beer.
Yes, I probably
that
have
tried.
it in this notebook
But that's
somewhere.
like $15.99 a 4-pack.
Yes, it is.
Correct.
For a non-alcoholic.
Yeah, and I
That's-
get Athletic is under that price point.
Yeah.
Correct.
I mean, quite a bit.
$9.99 6-packs, everything.
$10.99 because everything went up $1.
Yeah, but I mean, if it's something to where if I am
Welcome to
really,
inflation.
if I'm really trying to go the non-alcoholic route, and I want a non-alcoholic beer for that route, and not just water, fruit juice, whatever. For what I tried, I would rather pay more for the Untitled Art version or the Vine Stefan. Just the athletic brewing.
Well, the end of the
just
story is you're never going to
wasn't-
buy it anyway, so it doesn't matter.
That's very true. Very true.
Basically, yes.
Basically,
You're never
yes.
buying a 4-pack of non-alcoholic beer.
I
Let's
would
be honest.
I would rather just I love water. I'm a water person.
Yeah,
I have
just
no
drink
issue
water.
with water. I'll just drink water. It's like I'm not going to drink fruit juice. I'm not really a fruit juice person. I will drink water.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
So I think Athletic is 27 in this
That's
year's.
so dumb.
They're
That's
huge.
crazy.
Yeah, it's 27, and this is by volume.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
In the Crappers Association released that information
Yeah.
today. Which, by the way, I don't pay to read any of these articles. I don't. So I can't get past paywall. So
You
that's
see the
just,
first like 3
That's
sentences.
just the title, which is that they're like number 27
Okay.
Yeah.
by volume.
So what you're
And I mean-
saying,
Good.
they're number 27. Mm-hmm. Except both your opinions are wrong.
No, but what I think there's a lot to go into with there
Yeah.
because you can ship anywhere in the country.
Yeah, that's huge.
That's huge.
Anywhere.
For sure.
I mean,
Right,
now,
right.
and most of these crap breweries
Well,
are
to people's
local.
houses. Let's kind of qualify that a little bit more. It's not just to any tap room, bottle shop, whatever, and you can get it to your house.
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah,
if you can do
direct
that
to
with
your door.
Untitled Art, Vine
Depends on the
Stefan.
state.
I don't know if you can
State
just
laws are
order
different
it.
everywhere, but it's
Right.
NA, so they can do whatever they
That's
want.
also part of the reason why some of the crap breweries are also probably not capped out at their maximum capacity because they're only supplying their mostly local
Local, yeah.
Right.
area.
I
Yeah,
still
yeah.
want to try Mad Trees. I mean, they're local. I
The
still wanna-
non-alcoholic?
Yeah.
Have you guys tried it?
Without a trace, I believe it's called.
No.
Have you? No. Okay. I want to try it just because it's. Again, I'm not. If I'm going for a drink that doesn't have alcohol, and I'm not going to go for a beer that doesn't have alcohol. I'm just like I
Yeah,
said. I'm going to go
yeah.
for water. But if someone local is making something that is a very good alternative, I'm willing to give it a try. So I still need to give Matry a try, and there are a couple other places that kind of tease that maybe they were thinking about dabbling in that space, but I don't know if anyone other than Matry has actually.
I think
taking
that
that
I think
lead.
it could become something that more people do for sure.
Sure, if that's your thing, absolutely.
You
Like,
know.
I am 100% for it. Like,
Yeah.
if you want to go out with your friends and they all want to drink, and you don't want to just get a soda or water, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't care. Get whatever the hell you want to drink.
Yeah, I
don't care. Just for
see
me
this.
personally, it's
Jason,
not.
did you have something you want to say?
I was just going to say, and I didn't want to interject, but there's something about having a beer in your hand.
Yes.
And
I agree.
You know, you're sitting at a bar, or you're at a house party, or whatever. You're sitting by a beach or a pool.
Sure.
And maybe, hey, I have to drive home, or my kid's gonna be in the car, and I don't, I'm not gonna mess around with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get it. I'm very open to all of that. I get all of that. I just want a product that tastes good.
Right.
And the problem is that I feel like the athletic products just tried and missed the mark for me. And I get in all of these things, what I'm not going to get is the alcohol. And for whatever reason, maybe it's just because the breweries can make it to its truest form that I can appreciate the way it ends up coming out in the end. But unfortunately, those athletic products just didn't do it for me. It's like they were so close, but I didn't understand how now they sell to that kind of volume.
Yeah.
With I felt like it's something that just needed a little bit more R&D, and then with a little bit more R&D, you could have actually for a mainstream public hit it. However, the numbers, I mean, I guess I'm wrong. I mean, they're
They're
their
killing
volume
it,
is
yeah.
huge.
Well,
50% in California, probably.
Probably.
but
Those weirdos out
but
there.
also here's a segue away from non-alcoholic beers.
Yeah.
And this is not my opinion, because obviously Nick and I both said that we had liked athletic stuff for what it was. It's non-alcoholic. It's not going to taste the exact same
Sure,
as beer.
yeah.
So I enjoyed it for having a can in my hand during that time. But there is a definite market in certain areas or certain situations for marginally good product, because you are in a situation or a place, right?
Right.
There
well,
are so many breweries, there are so many products that don't make great stuff, but they crush it because they are in the right spot, the right time. They have the right branding, that kind of stuff. So I don't think you have to hit the mark on flavor profile all the time.
if you're hitting some of those other check boxes like
you're-
location.
You're absolutely right.
No, I agree.
If we can flip it to talk to places that make a product with alcohol, they have proven that the taste of the beverage that you're putting out doesn't necessarily need to be the number one reason people are there.
Correct.
Right? And
It
so
could be the environment, right?
if that's the case, then why can't a non-alcoholic beer that just doesn't quite taste on the mark, why can't it, succeed to the point where it's, number 27 by volume according to the Craft Brewers Guild?
Sure.
Because the market out there, although it may be, 2%, 2% market share in, 2019, and maybe now it's to 4% in 2022, doubles because of all of these new options. Yeah, but you're still only 4%, right? Yeah. And I mean, where are you going to top out? Where are you going to max out? I have no idea. But if you take a 2% category and take it all the way to 6% or 8%, that's a huge jump.
Yeah.
And you're providing a product for a lot of people that I'm sure that the majority of these people are drinking that product because either they, number one, don't want to, or number two, can't drink the regular product. And the regular product or alcoholic product itself is going to just by nature be far more prevalent, in this whole scheme of things. But if they can carve out their niche and be, 60% of the 6%, then they've got a winning business.
Yeah, that's a huge amount of volume there, and obviously you're seeing that. And I mean, it's the same kind of concept where, and Nick and I've experimented with this before, right? The idea that Guinness tastes better in Ireland, right? Everyone. It does not. I mean, yes, it does. It does.
Yeah.
But
Well,
it's
the experience is better in Ireland,
but it's
right?
the same exact product.
Yeah.
But like you're also getting into state of mind kind of thing. If you're in a good state of mind, your beer's going to taste better.
Sure.
If you are sitting on a podcast about to drink a non-alcoholic beer, and you're like, "Fuck, there's no alcohol in this shit," I'm probably not going to like that.
You're not
beer.
going to enjoy it as much, right? I think so much of crap. I don't even want to say crap beer. Just drinking in general is about the environment, the situation that you're in while you're drinking that. Like, I know that Gnome kind of teases me about liking Natter Days, but when I first tried it, it was after mowing the yard in like August. It was hot as hell. Like, I saw it for, I think it was a 4-pack of 16-ounce cans for like $3. I'm like, I've heard a ton about this.
They sell
this
it in
is cheap.
4-packs?
Yeah,
I thought it was just 30 racks.
Well, I mean, it could be. It could be now. This was whenever it first came out. I mean, it was one of those. It was first hitting the market. Everyone's like, "Holy shit, this is amazing!" And I'm just like, "Okay, if I find it for
Wait, did
cheap
you buy the
enough,
street
if I
side
find."
version?
I did not. That was
That's not
hilarious.
$3.
It's not
No,
not
$3.
$3.
You put a
I
zero
remember
at the end
seeing
for that
it.
4-pack.
Yeah, no kidding. For a 4-pack, not even a 30
Yeah,
pack. Holy
4-pack.
shit. But it was one of those things where the situation that I was in, I'm like, okay, I bought it for cheap, so it's a natural light product. I'm not expecting my expectations were below ground level. But it was one of those things where I'm like, okay, people are saying, hey, this is really good. Sure, again, going back to part of the main podcast, I'm willing to try it. I'm not going to try everything, guys. Hashtag put Coke in Coke. But I'm like, sure, if I find it for cheap enough, if I find a single can, why the hell not?
Yeah.
So the first time I decided to try it was after it was like August or July or August. I don't even remember. I had mown the yard. I was hot. It was miserable. It was the perfect time for just a light beer, just something to where it's like it's more water than beer, whatever. And I'm like, perfect time to crack an Atterday because there's not going to be anything to it. I think it was that perfect situation that it was light enough, it had just enough sweetness to where it wasn't drinking like a New England IPA that are sweet but they're heavy, they're kind of syrupy or anything overly fruited. It was light.
Or you get chunks.
Or you get chunks
You
when
love
you're
that.
trying to
You
pour it
your-
out.
you pour your,
No.
Pour your IPA out, and you get a lot of chunks floating
In the bottom,
around.
no thank you. But again, it was more about the situation, the environment, the moment that it was in made me go, holy crap, this is perfect for this.
And it's, I mean,
Now, if
take
I
away
would-
the situation, it's also
Right,
delicious.
right, exactly. So take yes,
So are we going to carry them for the summer?
Yes.
There'll be a-
Capping
Is that
fee,
gonna
no
be here?
capping fee?
It has
Dude,
a permanent tap
I
handle
was just
coming
gonna
up.
say. See, the dog
dog
agrees.
approves,
The
yeah.
dog
the dog
agrees.
approves. So-
But if I would have tried that in just a random day where it was just whatever, where I was just sitting in my house
You
or
still
after
would have
work,
loved it.
I probably still would have. I'm not gonna lie. But it still would have changed the perception of it. It wouldn't have been. Maybe it wouldn't have been as refreshing. Maybe it would have just been like, oh, okay, this is good. I'll drink this rather than this. Oh my God, this is exactly what I need during the summer.
Yeah,
Same with like drinking in an island. There's something in your head. There's something about where you are and the people that you're with and the fun that you're already having and the 37 beers you've had before to where you don't even remember what you're drinking that you're like, this was fucking awesome. And it's only this awesome in Ireland. Was it because it was in Ireland or was it because of everything else tied into it? So
yeah, it's. I mean, state of mind is a big thing, and there's also like that confirmation bias. Maybe that's not the right term, but that's probably the hardest part of my job right now. Is I have so many breweries coming in where I've had a bad experience with a brewery before, or maybe it's a new brewery who didn't have a great product starting off, and I have to get out of that mindset all the time where it's like,
Sure.
okay, my past experience was not great.
but that doesn't mean that
this
the future
experience isn't going
experience
to be
isn't
awesome,
going to be right.
So I constantly have to tell myself, hey, don't worry about the last time, just take the product for what it is.
Live in the present,
coming
not in the
today.
past kind of whole.
I would imagine, because I've been brewing at Cellar Dweller for almost 6 years now, and I can remember before that the hyper localism was huge. Where if you wanted to, if you were a craft brewery, number one, there was so much fewer. Say 6 years ago, and you went to a place. Yeah, some places were, nah, we're not really that kind of place, and some places were, yes, we totally support local, let's do it. They sometimes did and sometimes didn't pay too much attention to, how whatever it was from a taste perspective. I'm not going to say quality because
That's subjective,
quality.
I feel like.
Quality is talking about whether the beer came out and has flaws to it. I'm talking about taste, whether it's a tasty product, a delicious product, where the product is what you're telling us it is from those flavor notes perspective, something that is going to move because of the way it tastes, right? So places would say, nah, we're a dive bar, we don't really do that. Other places are like, yeah, we accept craft beer, let's bring it in. It has to be so much harder now because you have so many places that put out such great stuff. You have other places that don't put out quite as great stuff from a taste perspective. And then you have distributors that are pelting you all the time with either, hot drops or one-time drops or stuff that they're going to get from, places that are quote-unquote hype from outside of the area. It's like, what sort of balance do you try to strike with doing that? Because 2 years bringing in Toppling Goliath to have it on tap would bring out a bunch of nerds to kill a keg. And today, it's just another beer on tap if you have Pseudo Sue.
Yeah, I was going to ask that same thing. Like, how do you, between the distributors and the self-distributed, like local breweries and all that, how do you guys decide, or how much control do you have? I'm sure you have a decent amount of control, but how do you
Jason brings in whatever the hell he wants, and he turns down whatever the hell he wants.
But I mean, when you have,
how do you approach the balance?
Yes, between bringing something in just because you know it's going to sell, because at the end of the day, it's a business. You need to make money to ensure that the lights stay on. How do you balance bringing in what you know, something that you know is just going to sell, even though you're like, I'm not super passionate about it, but it'll sell, versus only having things that you yourself would want to sell if it was up to the two of you. Hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think it makes sense, and we talked about it in the main episode a little bit. Cans and bottles are different. We have to hold that as a completely separate product line, if you will. So we analyze that completely separately. We look at price point analysis. We look at styles, but not just sales by style. We look at sales by style by month. So, like, what time of the year is it? What's the temperature?
So you're
outside?
Saying that having a Christmas sale on tap in April,
I'm not saying anything about that. In July, it might work. But,
Christmas in July,
and then draft just moves differently. If it's on draft, it's going to move inherently, and our bartenders are just naturally going to push it harder than they would stuff that's in bottles and cans. So it's different. But in terms of how much control do we have, that answer is completely different than probably it was 5 years ago.
Okay.
Where 5 years ago, distributors were coming to you and saying, well, hey, I have Bourbon County, I need you to have a permanent tap handle of Sophie all the time if you want this Bourbon County. There's none of those games going on anymore, or at least, distributors.
It's because it's illegal, dude. What are you talking about?
It always was, but they leveraged. They were leveraging things.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
They would try,
and distributors still try to leverage things like that.
They just laugh in their face.
And honestly, now when somebody tries to do that, you've just completely turned me off to that brewery, and I will not carry it.
So even though that's the distributor, not necessarily the brewer, like it could be an absolutely phenomenal.
Do that too. I won't name names, but we used to have a permanent tap handle of a beer that we have talked about on the show already on tap.
That was a fun one.
Yeah, and had a permanent tap handle, sold like wildfire all the time. Brewery came in because distributor offered us permanent tap handle, and the brewery came in and was like, hey, I want you to also put a permanent tap handle of something else on for us to be able to keep your permanent tap handle.
So instead of just one tap handle,
now I
it's
want
two.
Now I want two or three.
Yeah.
And so we said, take your tap handles back. That's fine.
I don't know what you're talking about. Logie is still on tap, and it's still phenomenal. No.
Logie is fantastic.
Everything from Westside, and of course, being a Westsider, I'm incredibly biased, but
you are.
Everything from Westside has been
they're so good,
amazing.
Nick
and
brews
Logie, I'm so glad.
And incredibly biased.
Yeah.
By hand.
Nice.
Yeah.
I feel like I can taste Nick's fingers in it.
Oh,
that's
okay.
the secret
now,
ingredient. Don't tell people.
You just ruined the whole thing.
So that's what gives it that tart bite at the end that you're not expecting from a blonde ale. All right.
So, are there no cocktails at Northside, or you do have cocktails?
We have a full liquor. We just don't have a cocktail menu per se.
Okay.
That will be changing, but
it's all just that secret menu. If you know what to order it, you can order it.
Yeah. Next time I see Kat down there, I'm gonna be like, hey, Jason and Nick said you can make me this. And I'm going to pull some random ass cocktail out of off the internet.
If people come in, it depends on my mood. They'll be like, "Can you make this?" I'm like, "I can, but I'm just not going to."
Dude, if I ask you to make, so this is what's going to happen, guys.
There's a place called Chameleon next door. It's awesome.
Their
they'll make it for you,
phenomenal.
and then you just come back and have a beer after that. How about that?
So what's going to happen is I'm going to go down to Northside on Friday. Nick's going to be there, and I'm going to say, okay.
I'm only there till 7, so you gotta come before that.
Okay,
Order,
I'll do what I
order
can.
12 buttery nipples.
Oh, jeez. I'm going to, well, you see what's going to happen
I
is.
made that.
I'll
I
make
made
sure
that
my
like
nipples
last
are
week.
buttered before I come in.
Yeah, here.
No.
No, wait.
Well,
It was.
It
It was
doesn't matter what I'm going to
Wait,
order.
what did you make here?
buttery nipples.
Shut up.
Yes.
Someone asked you for that here?
Yes. It was. It was.
Was it Chris from Shift Beers?
No.
He would ask for
it
butter
was
nipple.
St. Patrick's Day.
Oh,
it was St.
God.
Patrick's Day. Guy asked for 2 whatevers, and he goes, and I need 2 buttery nipples.
You're
And I
just
was
You
like,
were like,
I was like,
I got
well, if
nothing,
you
bro.
ask for buttery nipples, then you got to have 2. Is what I told him. And I went
Not
around
wrong.
the corner. I went down the hallway
people have
to
3, I
Annie.
don't know.
I went down to Annie's another bartender here. She's a full-time bartender. She's fantastic.
awesome.
And I went down to Annie and I said, "Hey Annie, they
It's
ordered
not on the
2 of
sheet.
these.
How do I do
They ordered 2 of these and they ordered 2 buttery nipples." And she goes, "Oh, it's butterscotch." And then it's hold on a second. She pulled out her phone. She goes, "Google's your best friend." I was like, "Oh, okay. I can figure that shit out. Never mind."
Now you see, anybody else can do that. Now, if I go to Northside or even here, if I show up here at Summit Park and Nick's at the bar and I'm like, hey, I feel like a cocktail tonight, make me a whatever.
And they
I'm going to
give
get a
you the
goddamn
finger?
seltzer set in front of me. So it's one of those, yes, they can do it, but depending on who you are, you may not get what you're asking for.
This is true.
No, but I tell you guys did a great job thinking this place out.
God,
we had this past Saturday night. It was Final Four, and look, I know you don't want to talk about it very
Sorry
much.
about
It was great. Oh, what a game.
But
That was a
No.
hilarious Instagram story,
We
by
had-
the way.
we had
I loved
we had a
that.
group of 8 or 10 come in, and we were going to close in like 15 minutes. And they came in, and the group was very nice because it was like 10:45. They came in, and I made like I don't know, 4 old fashions. I poured 4 of the Woodford Reserves.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Hell
and the
yeah.
ladies were cleaning us out of black cherry seltzer from Sonder. I mean, they were great, and but it's you thought ahead that this was gonna happen. Also, great wine selection.
Shout out to Nick for the wine selection.
Great wine selection. People come in, love the wine on tap. Come in and occasionally get a bottle with a corking fee with wine. Are there any more evolutions of what we're going to serve?
I mean, besides beer, wine, cocktail. I
Maybe
mean, what-
maybe Nick can talk about this, but this is like the reverse of beer, right? Mm-hmm. Everyone comes in and asks about wine selection, and for the most part, we've had a pretty good reception to it. But we do get a lot of people saying wine on tap or wine in a can.
They love it. No, they love it.
No, yeah,
once they have it, it's good wine,
it's
right?
Well, they want to
shit.
know what winery it's from. Like,
Right.
really?
But there's such a big stigma when it comes to wine. It's like if it doesn't come in a bottle, it's
what
not
if it's
good.
in a box?
Come on now. I mean,
Boxed wine
boxed
is
wine
so good.
right,
now.
right.
box
Stays
wine's so
fresh
good.
for a month.
Screw
What's wrong
top
with
wine.
that?
Some of the great
like-
Chilean wines come screw top.
Well, I mean, that's like an old myth too, right? Like cork back in the day was definitely better because they didn't know how to thread shit, and the screw cap didn't work for wine. But now the technology's there that's actually better for wine than a cork. Corks are they'll get wet, erode. They're not always good, shit like that. But it's still like a mindset of people that if it's a corkscrew, it can't be good. Like that's not true at all. It's just, but that's just teaching the consumer like not say appropriate, but like you got to teach them like what's up and
Well,
what's going on.
it's similar with beer. It's one of those.
Yeah.
I don't like anything other than
Yeah,
Bud Light,
yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then you introduce them to like a blonde ale or
Yeah.
the lighter side of craft beer. It's an entire mindset. Like you might like these other types of wines, you just haven't been introduced to them correctly, or you're just going for the random. I always like reds. I'm just going to go for this other red that might be
Yeah.
complete. I'm not a wine person, so I'm going to butcher this incredibly.
And we serve our wine in water glasses, so people love that.
Yes. The best
Can you
way
put
to,
some ice in my glass before you put the draft wine in it?
She asked me to do that. A lady asked me to do that.
That's called the Eastside Special.
Oh, hey, as long as it's not West Side, we're good.
Lady asked me to do that to put some ice in her wine before I poured it. Before I gave it to her.
As
for
long
some
as she's
whites,
still
they
paying
like that.
for it.
Yeah, white. It was a white,
Was it
obviously.
was it a rosé or?
No.
No,
It
she
was
just wants
the,
it colder. It's people
Sauvignon
are
Blanc?
weird. Yeah, Sauvignon Blanc. Yeah,
Yeah, Sauvignon Blanc.
I do that because I just drink too fast. No.
Hell, I mean, one of the first nights I was pouring here. Now it was one of Jason's friends. Ordered a freaking $40 two ounce belt of tequila to share with his friends.
He didn't share it with me either.
Oh,
No,
That was rude.
And we gave
because
them
you
all.
were here, weren't you?
Nick,
oh, you weren't. you
Nick
weren't-
was kind of like in charge of telling us how we were supposed to serve it. We did give everyone limes, and I heard you scold somebody. I would scold one of them and said, "You better not have put that fucking lime in there."
And he did.
It was delightful.
I'm telling
You had a lime in it too? So,
Oh,
so
all
we're,
right,
we're
all right.
Actually,
talking,
you didn't need the lime, but I still just did it. It was
telling-
very smooth and good.
we're talking a $200 retail bottle of Clase Azul tequila. And
I mean, yeah, it was really
he
good.
fucking
Handmade-
salted his
Yeah,
hand
for
and put a lime.
$200, it was delightful.
I mean, if they're paying
I-
for it, do you really care if they
That's-
stick a
I-
lime in it?
Exactly,
I was
absolutely
told-
not.
I was
Okay.
told
I'm
so.
telling you.
Oh, right. So,
absolutely
so
not.
I took off from my full-time job because I need to be here for July 4th. And if this place bumps the way I think it is,
Oh, it's going to. Hell
I
yeah.
am going to
Hell
order.
yeah.
I am going to purchase one of those $40 2-ounce
And he's gonna have
pours of that
5 fucking
tequila.
limes
It's delicious.
in it.
It's worth
And
it.
I'm going to share that with as many people as I can. Break it out to where we can all get a taste.
So
'Cause
speaking-
I am excited about it.
So speaking of stupid expensive beverages, Utopias. If you guys get some, Truth Beer and Consequences requires like a 4-ounce reserve
I
for
don't-
when we show up.
You don't carry any Boston beer, do you?
We do.
Oh,
We do.
Yeah, they have
So we have
the
Boston
winter.
Lager.
Don't you have the winter ale or the winter lager?
No, but in Ohio, I don't think where you can buy it, right?
No,
Is
no,
there a
but
liquor store?
No, you can buy it.
Oh,
They
from
sell
a
it.
distributor?
Yeah.
I'm confused.
no, but you're a bottle shop, and they can
And Stein
they
Club
can-
members get an extra ounce.
and they
just
can
saying.
decide if they send you one or not.
Right.
Well, yeah,
Like
that's part of it.
on a retail bait.
I don't know.
Well, if
I
you
don't know the
guys
rules
happen
anymore.
to get some, let us know.
I'll let you know.
So, I guess for the sake of time, we can go ahead and sort of try and round it out. But shit, I could have another beer and talk with you guys on.
Oh, yeah.
on
Just come
mic
back tomorrow.
for another. You know what? I think I will. I think I will
And
come
you
back
know
to
what?
What time
I
will you
think
be here?
I will.
So, Marco, whatever you don't cover tomorrow, I'll come back on Sunday
All right.
Sunday.
and talk
might
We
about
can
Sunday
have a
early.
recurring
Sunday
segment.
early.
Speaking of
I'm not gonna be
Sunday,
there.
if
Yes.
there's any Liverpool fans out there, we're going to be opening up early, 11:30, Liverpool Man City. That is for, well, there's still quite a few games left, but that will be for the leaders in the Premier League. And I have, maybe not officially, but almost kind of converted Julia into a Liverpool fan.
Maybe.
now,
So,
Okay.
so I have. There's
terrible
another
choice in
podcast
life.
that I listen to. That's based locally. It's one of my friends from high school. Her and 2 of her friends do a podcast called Soccer Crush, which these women know more about soccer than a lot of like the male centric podcasts about soccer know. And they've gotten some shit from it, like, oh, it's so cute that you're teaching other women about soccer. It's like, fuck the massage. It's there
Take
have
a
been
baseball.
some hands thrown about
Take a
this.
baseball bat to that shit.
But so 2 of the hosts are Chelsea fans, and one of them, the woman that I went to high school with, she's a Liverpool fan. So they have a book club talking about books based on soccer. This latest one was Soccer in Sun and Shadow that we talked about on yesterday. And I let Beth know, I'm like, hey, just so you know, someone's trying to recruit me to be a Liverpool fan because she's a Liverpool fan. She's like, oh, when are they going to watch the match? And you're wearing your kit right now. That is amazing. And I said, well, Higher Gravity Blue Ash, they're going to be opening at 11:30 or maybe a few minutes early. I'm not sure exactly what time you're going to be letting people walk through the doors for the match. And she goes, I accidentally scheduled another thing for like noon that time. And I'm like,
that is the biggest game of the year.
It is that, and she knows this. She knows this. And she's like, I need to figure out if I can fix this because I made a mistake.
So you guys are running the shell game on me where I asked if we have more to come here from a beverage perspective.
And then we
Higher
started talking
Gravity.
about sports
And,
because Truth, Beer, and Consequences is secretly a sports podcast.
Yeah, and Jason said, I think Nick should answer this, and then Jason went off on a tangent and didn't
It's
let
fine.
Nick answer any of it.
Yeah.
But Nick, anything?
I mean, really, the only thing is just the bourbon game's crazy. So trying to get better bourbons, but it's impossible. So until that happens, that's about it.
Until that happens, we have $40 2-ounce
Yeah.
pours of
So
No,
tequila.
we do have
what's-
some good bourbons. Like we have Buffalo Trace, Blanton's, and Weller and stuff like that. It's just a matter of how long they'll be around and
Yeah.
if I can get them back in stock when they do run out.
So
stuff like
question
that.
on that, what is the difficulty in getting additional or better or
It's just
different
that
variety of bourbons? Is it just they're not
people are
available,
crazy. They go
or-
down and buy a case themselves. And
No,
then-
but,
Japan.
okay, so maybe go a little bit behind the curtain, please. As a business that serves alcohol, aren't you only supposed to get your alcohol from certain alcohol? Like,
yeah, so I only have one
places?
choice of like where I can buy from.
And
so-
so,
As
and
far
so,
as liquor goes,
and
is that
so,
correct? Is that okay?
Do they put a preference on
No.
selling them to?
It's like what you
these
got to get online.
bourbon
at-
heads instead of
Bourbon heads.
you.
No, not necessarily. It's like I think it goes online at like 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. on like whatever their delivery day is. And
Uh-huh.
if it's in there, it shows up. Sometimes it mysteriously doesn't show up. Sometimes it's just a lottery. So like you literally have to enter a lottery. It's very dumb. I don't like it.
So
Welcome
similar.
to a three-tiered
That sounds
system.
dumb as hell.
Our state's
And-
dumb as hell.
I can see a lot of Thurston Howells running around here with giant round ice balls with bourbon and their
Yeah,
tiny
yeah.
teacup, whatever dog, doing their walk for whatever whatever. I'm looking forward to it. So is it from a? I know you talked about draft wine perspective, from a bottled wine perspective, from a to go, sort of thing. Is there wine at Northside? Yes, no.
Yes.
Bottles to go.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
then from a selection here, do you find that? I know we've only been open the 4 weeks or just over 4.5 weeks. That are there different trends in wine or not really?
I'd say here it's more a little bit of the finer wines seem to move a little bit better. I have some nice bottles at Northside that just kind of
Did
chill.
I buy the only box off the shelf? Because I bought a box like 2
So
weeks
Marco
ago.
buys wine from here. He buys it in a box.
Hey, that box wine is delightful.
I'm just poking fun. That's all.
Do you play slap the bag?
Have you ever played Slap the Bag?
What?
Oh,
Ooh.
dude, we're playing Slap the Bag.
What's
What?
that?
You-
Educate our listeners
You
and
pull
me
the-
because I don't
there's
know
no
what it is.
take the box. There's a bag in the box, right?
Yeah.
Tear that box up.
Yeah.
Then you put the nozzle in your mouth, and then you have your friend come up and slap the bag so it all rushes down your throat.
It's like shotgunning wine.
We need to
basically.
do that with shift beers.
Oh my
Yeah,
God, we
yeah.
do.
Yeah.
We
So
do.
in college, at least when I was a savage, we would have box wine like when it was just Franzia, the
Franzia,
really
yeah.
good
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
We would have box wine races,
Oh
and
my
I won
God.
that shit every single time.
Box wine races, doo-dah, doo-dah.
That's amazing. So, what about? I know that places like Mad Tree Carrican, they're doing draft cocktails where it's kind of pre-mixed, pre-whatever. Any thoughts on?
Thought
is
about that. I don't
something-
like them.
Okay, that's fair.
All right, well, sure. Fuck it.
Hey, it's fair question, fair answer.
All right.
It's one of those.
No,
other
I've
people
tried them. They're
disagree.
just not good.
Sure,
I don't
that's
like
fine.
'em.
That's fine.
They're not good,
That's fine.
Okay.
in my opinion.
And if you're not getting customers that are asking, hey, why don't you have a Moscow Mule on draft? I don't know why they would.
but I
don't know
think-
enough about cocktails to really say. But is that something that if enough people
I
start
mean,
saying...
for efficiency's sake, I see where they'd be efficient. But
Yeah.
however, you probably get a little bit. I don't want to say fresher tasting, but you
Yeah.
probably get it.
I mean, Marco muddles the lines himself until.
Sure.
Yeah.
So part,
Jason,
Wait till
I won't tell that story.
in like
I won't tell that story.
in a month. Marco's gonna be like, "I wish we had cocktails on draft."
Right, I wish
F this.
But
fucking on
Hey,
draft.
he just
Part of-
recently learned about the lime juice in bottles, so we're gonna leave that one.
part of the experience is
is.
the freshness of
It is.
Yes,
I would
like
agree.
an actual lime going in, or
I mean, for big events, we'll pre-batch some stuff for sure.
taking the
but-
Yeah.
peel of the orange, right? Like that kind of stuff makes a little bit of a difference.
Sure.
Not everyone's going to notice that. The biggest part of the experience is that like bartender back there just
The
shaking,
over the shoulder.
shaking
Yeah,
and
don't you want to
smiling.
be Tom Cruise?
Yeah. You.
But-
Many people have
if you're
mistaken
not
me
getting
for,
your cocktail shaken
Tomas
with
Cruz.
somebody just smiling
Like,
at
you are,
you while they're
yeah,
shaking.
you are Tomas
They're not
Cruz.
breaking eye contact, no matter
Yeah.
how weird
Yeah.
it gets. But then you have something like red, white, and blue ash, to where you have a line going around
No
the door of
cocktails that
people
day.
that want. Well, I'm just
No.
throwing
Draft
like a
only,
complete
no
hypothetical.
cocktails.
There you go.
Get your drink.
Carry
and move
out and
along.
draft only. You got to buy it and get the hell out of here. 'cause
I'm
we're
telling you,
not
they
doing
have already
this.
thought about an outdoor pour system, an outdoor
Yep.
pay system.
So, and that
like,
leads-
I'm sure they have this down. Like they.
You're giving us too
and
much
that's
credit.
a question that I had for things where before you guys, and I don't know the proper terminology, whatever, bid on this space, had an idea on a bluish location, whatever. When you were looking at, we want a location in Blue Ash, regardless of if it was right across from Summit Park or just someone else in the Blue Ash Montgomery area, things like taste or red, white, and blue ash. Taste of Blue Ash is another thing that they've
It
done.
is,
The,
correct. Yeah. Yeah.
Blue Ash Food Truck Fest,
Yeah.
all that.
Yep.
How much did those pre-existing events, like how much thought did you guys put into, if we get this space for this particular event, we're going to need to do this these extra 10 steps outside the box, like having, I don't want
Or-
to say like jockey
I'd ha-
boxes outside, but how much?
I'd have to think it would have been more, and I'm not. I don't want to speak for you two, so I'm just going to give my opinion first before you two talk.
Answer.
I'd have to think it would be more like in a retail environment where it's like Black Friday. It's like, okay, we're going to do our business all the way around all year long, but this is going to be fucking crazy.
Right.
Or the opposite was when Black Friday actually happened, like when it was deemed Black Friday, which is we're in the red all year long, and this day put us in the black. I think it's less that way now for most retailers because you can't run a business that way. But please, answer Julia's question and take my opinion out of it.
I didn't think about it at all. I just wanted to be here. No, I'm joking.
Spoken like a true West Sider,
No,
North Sider
didn't
who
know-
doesn't have
didn't
anything to
know
do
till
with
we signed the lease that they did those events.
I
That
had
was
no
crazy.
idea those existed. No, it was obviously a very important factor.
So if you just walk in the front door, you'll see part of that thought process. First thing you see when you walk in the door is a cash register and a draft list.
Yes.
So we
Yes.
expected Dora to be coming to this area. We expected Red, White, and Blue Ash. We expected Food Truck Fest. So the first thing we thought was, how do we get people in and out of that door as fast as possible? And that's kind of why we laid out the space the way that we did as compared to Northside, where Northside, the cash register
You have to go all the way
all the way
through
on
the
the other
entire
side.
north side.
We didn't know what the hell we were
Interior
doing.
before. Sure.
Part of
right,
it is
right,
also
but-
we had no clue.
No, I'm joking, but yeah, it's just you learn a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
But so when we were designing the space, we took those events and those types of things into account when we laid out the way that the space would flow. So we have retail on one side, bar on the other, cash register,
To where people can just walk
right
and
in
get
the middle.
something and then walk right
Yeah,
out rather
exactly,
than... Yeah.
exactly.
So
And
are you guys able to, and I apologize, I didn't mean to talk over you. Go ahead and
you're
finish
good.
your...
Go ahead.
Okay. Are you guys able to, and I don't know if this is a legality, whatever, but kind of tying back to the main episode, beer fest, jockey boxes, stuff like that, are you guys able to do for things like the food truck fest and red, white, and blue ash, in addition to what you have inside this building, are you guys able to have...
Higher Gravity Fest.
What,
Jesus, can we
Well,
do
no,
a
no, no,
higher
no, no.
gravity fest?
We did that one year.
We did that. Somebody
It was like
But
it was
like
it
a
was like the
stall
biggest
or a
event
booth.
before the pandemic for us.
But
It was
Somebody
like,
puked everywhere. We
but
haven't
no
done it
s-
since.
Oh, good God.
well, that's because of
Well, all the
COVID.
floors are
Child
concrete.
vomiting.
All
That
the
guy
floors are
started
concrete.
COVID, I think.
Oh, jeez. Jeez.
Thank
you,
they
Marco.
They can barf in the park.
Yeah.
In the park.
That's
we
a new
had,
that's
like-
barf in the park.
Oh, barf,
in the park. I love it.
So, but I mean, are you guys able to do something where for things like Red, White, and Blue Ash, or the Food Truck Fest, or even the farmers markets that they
Yes.
have
To have
where
podcasts at your location?
Marco,
No, I mean-
dude.
No, go ahead. Finish what you're
Have
saying.
a booth outside in the park of where you're just selling a small selection of what you offer. I know it'd be hard to, you can't really pull a keg off of what you have in here, but offer a selection outside of the building.
Short answer, yes.
Okay.
Long answer is it's extremely complicated.
Okay.
But semi-short answer, we can put whatever we want on our patio and let it leave the patio.
Okay.
So we
That's
will.
fair.
store is
That's
around.
fair.
Yeah.
You-
Yeah,
right.
One store,
Okay, that's
one
fair.
store
That's
is here.
fair.
So when Dora
Should be
is
safe.
around,
Mm-hmm.
and when all these events start happening, we will generally have a jockey box or a couple jockey boxes out on our patio for
Nice,
people to
okay.
come get quick couple beers
Right,
and
because
and then head back
I
to
can
the park.
easily see a line just around this
Yeah,
entire
yeah.
space, and it's if you have an opportunity for those bigger events to have, people still come in, but if it's like I don't want, and I don't know why you wouldn't want something from Fretboard or whoever else locally has a tent somewhere. If you're like I just want something else, if you guys were able to offer non-local stuff outside of this, of this area.
Dora's going to change that. Like historically,
Mm-hmm.
all the events in Summit Park would have a 50 West or a Fretboard tent.
Sure.
Now that Dora is going to be available, you're going to have all these restaurants and bars that are in, restaurants and one bar being
Mm-hmm.
higher gravity. You're going to have all these places that can sell alcohol to go. So people are going to just come to those places.
Sure,
And maybe
sure.
there's not going to be tents anymore. Maybe you just go to those restaurants.
I'm just thinking of the flow in and
Or,
out of the building.
or maybe only one or two
Right.
sort of, giant, like that's your Bud Light tent or something, or your Bud Light draft cooler, and
Right.
then you got to go everywhere else for everything else.
Right.
Which I think would be unfortunate because you're taking a large chunk away from the businesses that you're actually trying to support by doing that.
Right, but there's also once you establish a Dora area, there's separate legality for getting a new Dora section within that Dora section. The way the laws are written, it makes it once Dora
Stores here, you can't really have those tents.
you
Ah,
can
awesome.
Gotcha.
you
Okay.
can, but it makes it harder
Yeah,
to get a tent.
you gotta get approvals. It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
dumb.
Unless
gonna be awesome.
I'm assuming.
Just give me
unless
those
it's during
dates.
A big event.
That way I can put in for my jobs to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
So,
that
so for
There's a
everyone,
lot of Saturdays coming up. You're gonna want to be here.
I will want to be here.
so for everyone that hasn't been able to follow this train of the conversation for Red, White, and Bluish and the huge summer festivals, Higher Gravity is going to have a tent full of Natter Days on draft outside in Summit Park for your enjoyment and your refreshment. I am kidding, in case you did not get my sarcasm
and
and
also-
Nick's laughter.
She's
in
kidding,
that.
but now we're going to make it
Now they're
happen.
thinking it.
And also, they live stream all the tiny people wrestling matches. So it's on the
Dude, I
main
would if
screen.
I could.
It's
Am I
on the
allowed to
main
do
screen.
that?
Oh my God. Oh man, oh man.
Well,
Thank you guys so much
Yeah,
for
thank
taking
you.
the time to talk with us. I love Higher Gravity. It has been such a fantastic space. I initially found them down in Northside. Combination of my sister saying, hey, there's a bottle shop down in Northside. You should check it out too. My boyfriend saying, hey, one of my coworkers, her husband owns the place. Came down and it's been downhill ever since. My wallet will never recover. And I love you guys for that. You guys are amazing. Your space, both of your spaces, Summit Park is amazing. Northside is amazing. You guys put on fantastic events. You do trivia. You do the Spring Grove Beer Gallop is going to be happening in Northside on
we won
April
trivia
20.
last Thursday.
Nice.
We do
Excellent.
trivia in both spaces. The
Spaces,
Spring
okay.
Grove Beer Gallop happens in Northside, but we're also planning a beer run here in Blue Ash too.
And that'll will that hit like Fretboard
That'll
or
most
what are
likely
your
hit.
ideas?
It'll definitely hit Fretboard.
Okay.
I don't know the other location, but we'll have a run up here. In
Nick will
Blue
be
Ash.
in the middle at Fretboard, just cheering.
Nick will be at
runners.
fretboard handing out like fries from smoked out barbecue to
Poutine.
people. That poutine, not gravy fries, but fucking poutine. We're gonna. That's awesome. You guys are doing absolutely amazing things, and
thank you both for taking a chance on hiring me, and I'm having a blast. It's
Good.
freaking awesome. I love
Yes,
it.
yes.
Is there anything that you want to tell all of my family that listens to this show
and my mom listens
about Higher Gravity,
Yes.
Northside Summit Park, that we have not covered or that's coming up, that you want people to know that we need to get out into the universe?
Yes.
Nothing like top of mind. Just come out and check it out the space. See what we're all about. If you haven't been to the north side, this might be a little bit closer for people. Just come on out and have a beer.
Yeah.
It's a pretty chill spot.
It is.
Yeah, biggest thing for me is come on out. We constantly have beers and wines rotating. If you're really interested in beer, but you don't necessarily know what you like, or you do know what you like and you want to experiment with things within that style group, come on out. All our staff are very well educated. You can probably tell from how awesome Marco is.
I was gonna say, except for that Marco guy, but you just kind of ruined that one. for me.
Don't
Marco's
trash Marco.
great.
Marco, we
is
hired Marco for a
amazing.
reason.
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
But
You guys
come
have
on out.
cold brew coffee
We
on
have
draft.
coffee on
at
draft.
both
We have root
locations.
beer on
Kombucha, root
Brew
beer.
Brothers. Root
Soft
beer.
root beer, by the way.
Yeah.
I need to mention that because shout out to the one lady who said, do you have root beer on draft? I was like, yes, we do. And she's like, is it good? I was like, it's great. And so she ordered the root beer. And 20 minutes later, she came up and she looked at me. She goes, that's just root beer, isn't it? And I was like, yeah, sure
You're
is.
like,
Sure is.
yes.
You didn't ask me. Was alcoholic root beer?
It is non-alcoholic root beer, but it is damn good root
Yeah,
beer.
It
so
is
I-
good root beer.
I
We
remember-
can add vodka. So.
It is root beer. It's damn good root beer. And I remembered
And I'm not going to mention that they have Athletic Brewing beers here, but they do have
But we
Vine
did,
Stefaner's
yeah.
non-alcoholic beer
They have-
at
they
both
have
the north
Athletic,
side
yeah.
and here at the Summit Park location, so you can get your
do you not
non-alcoholic
have
fixes.
not have the Untitled Art stuff?
No, we don't have. We do have Untitled Art regular
Alcoholic,
beers.
but not the
We
non-alcoholic.
don't have any non-alcoholic Untitled
Get the Vine
Art beers.
Stefaner non-alcoholic if you're going for it. That's,
If people ask for it, that's one of the things too. Don't be afraid to ask the bartender, ask me or Nick. If there's something you want, ask us. Let us know. We will not always bring it in, but most of the time we'll bring it in. If
I
you-
guess it depends on
how
if it's
much Jason
available,
hates the
but
person.
yeah.
If you ask me, I
So
will-
basically, if I ask for something, it's a hard no. If Marco asks, we'll see what we can do for you.
well, no, it just
No.
depends.
I'm saying the brewery itself
It
or
dep-
their salesperson.
It depends on the brewery.
Right.
If I like the
Yes.
brewery, I'll bring it in.
Okay, but
Also-
you say that, yet you still have 450 North in the cooler. That's all I'm saying.
Capitalism,
Well-
baby. Hit sales.
Capitalism, baby.
I also noticed that we pour an unusual amount of Jameson here. I don't know if it's unusual,
That's
but
one person.
we pour
That's Jason?
a
Just-
lot of Jameson here.
Yeah,
That's
just
one person.
Jameson's a great whiskey.
I mean, I just happen to notice
We're
we
trying to get
we
another
are
free
your
trip to Dublin.
we are your Jameson.
So is that a thing you
spot.
can like earn points for?
Last
how
time I
much
went, the
Jameson
Jameson
you pour
factory
and,
wasn't
like,
open, so I need to go back to Ireland. So
There you go.
Okay, all right.
So Jameson, huge listeners to the podcast. You have heard what we've said about Higher Gravity.
Yeah.
Get Nick and Jason back out
That's
to
right.
Ireland to,
That's right. And
to
sponsor
tour
the
your
show.
facility. Hell yeah, it's a big sponsor,
Sponsor
of
the show. Hell
Sponsor
yeah.
the show.
Yeah.
Thank
We'll
you,
take you to
We
the
are
casino.
speaking
I'll
it
buy
into
the Jameson
existence, if
ginger
nothing else.
cocktail cans.
guys. It was great hanging out with you.
It
Great,
was.
great fun having you on the show, and we'll do this again at some point.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. I just love it here, Julia.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Awesome.
All
Thank
right,
you,
we'll
guys.
see you guys
Cheers,
next
everybody.
time. Bye,
Cheers.
guys.